Strangest free throw rituals in the NBA history. Many players have pre-game rituals and superstitions before the game. Some players will wear different socks, sleep at strange hours, or eat meals where they've had great games in the past. Nothing is out of the ordinary if it works. However, we've seen some ridiculous and odd free throw shooting rituals that we'll question not only today but for our entire life. Rick Barry used the granny free throw shot and became a grade A free throw shooter while other players said prayers or showed their loved ones some love through the television. Is it weird that anybody takes after Rick Barry after shooting 90% from the foul line in his career? Is it right that we make fun of people who shoot how Barry shoots from the line? Keep watching to see the strangest free throw rituals in history. Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd will forever go down as one of the best point guards to ever play in the NBA. Kidd's had some extremely weird free throw routines that many kids would emulate thinking it was funny. Kidd experienced a couple setbacks throughout his career, so he began blowing kisses at the foul line to let his wife and kids know he was thinking of them, especially on the road. Things eventually didn't work out with his wife, but the free throw routine worked pretty well for him. Kidd ended up with a career average of 75%. Jason Kidd's estranged wife charged Kidd, saying that he was physically abusing her and cheated on her throughout their 10-year marriage. Kind of interesting to note, due to the fact that he would always blow kisses on the free throw line. In responding to divorce papers by Jason, Julmana Kidd detailed that her husband's numerous liaisons and perpetual physical and emotional abuse led to the breakdown of their marriage. Jason Kidd's lawyers said that the bizarre allegations would be proven false. At the time, in answering Jason's divorce petition, Julmana requested that they be given joint legal custody of their 3 children. However, she wanted the children to live with her. Of course, she would also seek child support, alimony, and monetary compensation for the injuries and trauma she suffered from the divorce. Julmana's petition said that she was a victim of, quote, reoccurring physical abuse and serial infidelity. There was a 27-page document that detailed on the alleged attacks. It read that Jason Kidd punched, kicked, and choked her. And one time, Jason gave her a concussion by striking her with a candlestick. Jason's lawyer called the filing retaliatory and gratuitously nasty. She continued by saying it contains a fantastical array of information that is, quote, exaggerated, manipulated, or just plain fabricated. Kidd's lawyer's words, not mine. Jason denied all of the allegations of abuse and unfaithfulness. Julmana said that her husband was very violent and couldn't resist anger sometimes, along with being habitually unfaithful even after committing himself to Christianity in 2004. She even said that Jason admitted to affairs with numerous women, including strippers in Arizona, Sacramento, Miami, Dallas, and Indiana. He even had some fun with a season ticket holder, a Nets employee, a cheerleader in New Orleans, and a woman named Petra and Lisa. Nothing is ever safe. Jason didn't realize this. Jason Kidd continued to try to buy Julmana things to apologize. He reportedly bought his wife a $585,000 pink diamond ring in March 2004 and a $555,000 diamond pendant in June 2004. But that doesn't change the fact that he lied about everything. Even then, Julmana Kidd said that she was stunned by his divorce filing because he said he wanted to renew their marriage. He also claimed he wanted a vacation home in Mexico. Her documents also explain that Jason had virtually no relationship with their children until 2005, and also was extraordinarily self-absorbed and narcissistic. He would play golf instead of being with his family on his off time. Jason continued to get reamed in the documents, where Julmana also said that Jason often drinks and gambles to excess when out with friends and teammates. When Kidd assaulted his wife at an apartment he took in Saddle River, he pressed his forearm against her neck, causing her to lose her breath. Jason later left and wouldn't tell Julmana where he went. Jason Kidd cited irreconcilable differences between the two. He charged that his wife physically and emotionally abused him for the last decade and countered all of her arguments. He filed days after a new state law permitted no-fault divorce. Jason Kidd also cited extreme cruelty in his initial filing. The Kidd's family were also involved in a domestic violence matter 6 years previously when he was playing for the Phoenix Suns. In that incident, Jason was arrested in January 2001 after his wife told police he slapped her in the face during an argument about feeding their son. Kidd pleaded guilty to spousal abuse, was fined $200, and ordered to take anger management training. That's why kissing before free throws is strange. For someone who is always angry and fighting with his family, he seemed like the nicest guy in the court. It's odd knowing that he did all of his cheating and harassing while also blowing kisses through the television. Plus, how do you think all of the women that were with Kidd during this time felt? knowing he's blowing kisses while cheating on her. Such a weird story that will likely never make sense. Nick Van Exel changed what the word free throw meant. A free throw is supposed to be a free shot that should be easy to score. When a player gets fouled, they head to the foul line for free throws. It's a 15-foot shot with no guardians. But Nick the Quick shoots his free throws from a couple feet behind the line at 18 feet instead of 15. It's funny because there are so many players who struggle from 15 feet. I'm more of a three-point shooter than a mid-range jump shooter, Van Exel admits. When I played for Denver, I would always hit the back of the rim when I missed. It just felt more comfortable for me when I moved a few steps back from the line. So I just stayed back and have been shooting that way ever since. If it's going to help Van Exel hit more shots, then nobody would stop him. Many players have a ritual too. Van Exel doesn't adjust his socks or wipe his sweat a certain way. He just shoots his free throws from about 17 or 18 feet instead of 15. I just tried it one day in practice and it seemed to go well, so I told the coaches I was going to try it in a game. It went pretty well that game, and I just kind of continued from there. Coaches preach repetition when going to the free throw line. No matter where you stand, when you get to the line, it's important to have the same routine because free throws are as much mental as they are physical. I just spin the ball, give it 3 bounces, line it up, and hope it goes in. If you don't know Rick Barry, then you don't know one of the oddest free throw releases of all time. He's in the history books thanks to his underhanded free throw. It's an unorthodox technique, we'll give you that. Some would call it the granny shot. But that shot has turned him into one of the best free throw shooters of all time. Barry swears by its accuracy, yet players are too scared to try it. I really truly can't comprehend the aversion people have to trying something that could be very effective for them, Rick says. Barry had a career free throw percentage of 90%. Thankfully, his youngest son, Canyon, is trying to continue the tradition. Logically dictated, if you have one of the greatest free throw shooters of all time as your personal free throw coach, you should at least give it a try, Canyon says. Canyon played 5 seasons at the University of Florida. During his last 2 seasons, Canyon scored on average 86% of his free throw shots. The average of the NBA over the same period is 76%. Performing the underhanded free throw requires gripping the sides of the ball. Then you have to bend your knees and lift both arms in simultaneous motion up to the release, which then lands the ball over the rim. The move is meant to be seamless and soft. With less moving parts, the ball has more of a chance of going straight in. Nothing can get in the way, like an elbow or something. The method has been honed and refined. Rick learned it from his father. Now Canyon is learning it from his father. His technique has changed quite a bit. Rick would take most of his father's technique out of it and would go on to use the technique throughout his career in the NBA, where he won a championship in 1975 with the Golden State Warriors. Canyon was already following a large shadow. When he missed a free throw in a game, he recalls the crowd slowly cheering, "You're adopted!" from the sidelines. He laughed it off, of course. That ribbing is one of the main reasons why all players don't try this method. Even Wilt Chamberlain, who was one of the worst free throw shooters of all time, switched to the underhand during the 1961-62 season. He ended up making 61% of his free throws that season, which was the highest of his career. After that, even with the success, Wilt stopped the underhand free throw, and he was back to being an awful foul shooter. In his autobiography, Chamberlain said that he used the granny shot, but it made him look silly and like a sissy. That's not how Barry felt. The use of underhand is so rare that watching a player perform it almost guarantees weird looks and endless chatter, but anyone would accept it if it meant their team will win a championship. Chinana Onuaku, who played for the Houston Rockets, has tried it recently. There was a Reddit thread dedicated to Onuaku's underhand garnered comments, such as, "Women will assume he lacks masculine vigor," and, quote, "The other players don't respect him now," unquote. Rick had the same initial reaction while in high school in the 1970s. He explained how his father, who was a semi-pro basketball player and coach, kept bothering about switching, saying it would make him better. Even Rick was self-conscious about the underhand shot because he says girls were known to shoot that way. "So I said, I can't do that, Dad. Everyone's going to make fun of me," Rick says. I remember him saying, "Son, they can't make fun of you if you're making them." His father was right. Now Canyon's refined the technique and has held the ball further away from his body. "The ball would get caught on the inseams of the shorts," says Canyon about the longer or baggier basketball uniforms. His father prefers the short shorts of days past. Rick says Canyon's generation also produced a new type of athlete. Quote, "The players have gotten bigger, stronger, they look like Greek gods. You know, chiseled bodies," Rick says. "It's just astounding how they got themselves to be physically." Canyon had to keep up with this competition and 2-ball drills, lifting weights and calibrating his nutrition. These were all things Rick didn't have to worry about back in his time. Rick would have his knee drained at halftime and continue to play. Karl Malone. Karl Malone is best known for his athletic prowess and mid-range jump shot, but he actually had an outstanding career free throw percentage at 74%. Sometimes people forget. Each time Malone stepped to the line, he would utter a few secret words under his breath before shooting the basketball. Nobody has a clue as to what Malone was saying when he whispered in those moments, but whatever he said, it worked. For real, Malone would talk to himself for quite a while and then finally shoot the ball. Malone would later tell reporters that he was just reminding himself of what to do at the free throw line. Whatever he said exactly when he talked to himself remains a mystery, but some reports say it was a routine prayer in honor of his daughter. It seems like many athletes had different routines to honor loved ones and free throw lines. Malone scored 36,928 points, brought down 14,968 rebounds, and 1,476 games played with 54,800 minutes, while scoring 13,500 plus field goals. He had a ridiculous career in the NBA. It's hard to be dominant in this league, but Malone was dominant for nearly 2 decades. He scored all these points by hitting free throws. His free throw record is so impressive. Those who saw him play remember Malone talking to himself before free throws, but his method got results. On March 24, 2001, Karl Malone became the NBA's all-time leader in career free throws made. Malone was good at flopping, but he was also a hard-nosed player that didn't mind contact. Sure, many of these free throws did come from his flopping, but a lot of the time the defenses had no choice but to foul Malone to stop him from getting an easy bucket. Malone made 9,787 free throws throughout his career. That's literally 1,256 more than any other player in NBA history. Unlike Shaquille O'Neal or Wilt Chamberlain, he was not getting there because he couldn't make it. Malone was a 74% free throw shooter for his career. His relentless style and solid build helped him become one of the world's best forwards in NBA history. His foul shooting was a main cause for his success and the amount of points he was able to make throughout his career. A guy like Karl Malone finished his career with approximately the same percentage of free throws made as Jason Kidd, who was an efficient guard throughout his NBA career. It's impressive. It's very impressive.